Hey there viewers, and welcome back to part 2 of Project Pontiac Grand Prix. Today we're going to be addressing some of the window issues we have, and we're going to be doing it on a severe budget because these cars aren't worth a whole lot of money and it has other issues. So we're going to do the right thing and tape this one shut. But I like to go through the drive-thru, and whoever buys this car is probably going to want to go through a bank teller, drive-thru, or dry cleaner, or any of that kind of stuff, so we need to get this window working. Also, if you get pulled over and you don't roll your window down for the officer and try to open the door on him, that's a good way to get tased or shot. So, let's get started fixing this window. Okay, so we don't actually know what's wrong with this. We just know that we have no actuation here. We know the switch mostly works because I can actuate the other windows on the passenger side. And that's how we also found out that this window back here falls down. So we're just gonna replace everything on the inside. The regulator motor assemblies for these are not very expensive, so we got it relatively cheap. We're gonna go ahead and tear this apart. Now, I've not taken apart a Pontiac door panel in a while, so it's kind of a generic door panel pull. It looks like this has some sort of, oh, wow. Or it's not attached at all. I guess it was supposed to have some pegs at some point in its life, but it doesn't. Set that over here, the center console, and you gotta pull this. Something tells me someone's been here before. All the plastic clips are broken. Go ahead and unplug this guy. This guy. Now, this one's tricky, so you might need a pick for it. My pick's a little bent after doing a wheel bearing earlier. But thank you. So you have to push down on this tab and pull it out, and they never do. In true General Mess fashion. And then you gotta do it 3 more times. We're gonna push down and pull it out. Oh look, that one worked. So that's how it's supposed to work. You push down, you pull out. And then we do that on this one. It's important to take your time with these plastic connectors, because if you just rush and rip them off, you're guaranteed to break them. So just take your time and chill and pry on different corners, and you will eventually get it out. Jesus. See, sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they're a fight. But either way, it's okay, we got it now. Okay, next, I'm gonna try to take this triangular piece off up here, which you should just be able to pull off. Feel some bolts somewhere, but it's popped out all the way around. I bet it's behind these circular thingies here. Yep. Aha, and these just pop out. Let's see what's behind door number 47 here. Phillips heads. I need to go get that. Be right back. Okay, well, I was wrong. It's a T27. So after getting a Phillips head for no reason and then getting mad that I got a Phillips head for no reason, I now have a T27. Dingerbag. Where's the other one at? That's why you should probably do this on a clean, well thought out surface. Or not. There we go. All right. We've got some wiring here. Oh. Just take that off. Here's a good sign of the panel. That's what it looks like on the inside. So you've got all these clips around the edge. Those two Torx bits went up through here. So where the hell is the other one? So it's gonna have one when it goes back. Now we're gonna pull this weather stripping off. Ew. I'm gonna have butt cancer today. Like today. I'm gonna pull this mirror connector out of the way just to make things easier. So these are just these little piece of crap connectors. They're not really that hard to get out of the way, but now everything's in one spot. So you can pull the plastic and then pull the harness through the plastic hole like that. Now we're catching the door handle. We'll just work around it for now. And there we go. See how I did that? I pulled from this side to get it off the handle. And as per usual here in the South, you don't need this, so right in the trash. I don't know why, I mean, fine, it's a moisture barrier, yeah, whatever. All it is annoying now. So our regulator is gonna hold the window up. So here's the window motor right here. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 bolts holding it up, and maybe 2 on the window deck and 2 down here. Is that how we're set up? Yes. How do I get it off the window? We'll have to plug back in the controller and see if we can bang on this and get the window to come down slightly just so I can see the bolts. Now if your window is busted and it simply will not move at all, you can take the back end of a ratchet and tap right here, and this will get the motor to work one more time, and you can bring it down that way to be able to get to the bolts. So that's a good tip for you. But now I gotta go find the switch, plug the switch back into the window buttons, and roll this window down so I can see how to detach it from the glass. We'll do that now. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get this to come down. Oh, it's broken. Okay, I found it. I've also found that our ignition sucks. Stand by. Okay, now that we've got the annoying dinging gone, what I did was I plugged this in and I assisted by grabbing the window and pulling it down while hitting the down button. And what I was able to do is pull until I can see these bolts here. So there's these tiny 10mm silver dudes that hold the glass to the regulator assembly. And there's one on this side too, so make sure you get low enough, not just to get him, but also to get the guy on this side as well. And this side's really hard to see, but he is up in here at a really screwed up angle. I'll show it to you once we get it out. But speaking of that, let's make progress and get this thing out. I'm gonna play with this clip for 48 more minutes. Whoever sits around and designs plastic clips, I hope you stub your toe every day for eternity. You asshole. All right, so we're gonna get these two down here loose. Found what that was. This guy. See how this one here has a little opening above it? These you can just loosen, you don't have to pull them out. And you'll just lift the regulator up and push it away. That's that one. These are all 10mm, by the way, just in case you were curious. I'll try to lean back out of the way so you can see what bolts I'm loosening. I'm going to loosen these two. I'm using a deep socket to exaggerate the distance so you can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing, but you can use a shallow socket. It does not have to be a deep one. And then this one as well. Oh yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little map of all these bolts in the seat next to me. So this bolt came out of the middle right. So we'll put that one in the middle right. These two come out of the bottom, so I'll put them on the bottom. And if you have air ratchets and stuff, you can obviously make this faster. Now before we go too much further, leave these in because you got to get these guys. And these are really delicate because you're dealing with the glass. So you want to be real careful when you're fighting with them. I'm going to use an extension to try to get around some of this nonsense here for this right side bolt that you can't see because Pontiac. But it is literally right here behind this wall. One glass bolt. The glass bolts are different, so make sure you don't lose them. I'm putting them in my socket tray so I don't. And of course, same thing with this guy. Now, our regulator comes with a motor. I know they used to, forever ago, sell regulators that did not have motors on them. It was just a regulator and you had to switch it over. Those days are long gone. We're gonna lift this up real quick and push it away so it will come down. Or it won't because this bolt is actually too big. So we're gonna have to take this bolt out after all. Isn't that courteous of them? Put that in my kit there. All right, so here's the motor. Now obviously I'm gonna pull everything out through this other opening, but I'm just pulling this out here to show you that there's another damn plastic clip here. Haha, now she's free. All right, now obviously we found the problem already. This regulator just simply has a severe case of no beans. That's what I have to say about that. The window is now free of the regulator, so we've got one bolt left, and then we'll be getting our new one and reinstalling it. I think the regulator's a little broken there, Doc. It's missing some wires, and it's kind of got a case of the Mondays. Just really don't want to get up. All right, that's upper right. And then we're gonna leave the upper left. So what I'm gonna do is there's a metal bar, I'm gonna grab it. You see I'm moving this bolt around by doing so. Push it away, down she comes, okay. Now we're gonna not tangle it up in every piece of wiring in the way. We're gonna pull this out. Ta-da, one piece of window regulator. Now we're just going to compare that to our new one and make sure we've got the right parts because, you know, getting the right parts these days has been really exciting. In doing our side-by-side comparison, we made sure it was the correct regulator. And as you can see, these springs aren't all screwed up like those other ones were, so these are much better. What I've done now is I've staged the bolts that have drop holes that aren't straight through. They have the openings that we can drop them through, so it'll be easier to line everything up when I put it in there. Now, when you're installing the new one, you want to be really careful you don't get tangled up in any of this wiring, because unlike the broken piece of crap we just removed, we want to make sure this one doesn't get damaged on the way out. So what we're going to have to do is kind of do some Actually, you know what? Nope, it's got to be this way. Get in there, please. And yes, I know you're kind of feeling like you're going the wrong way right about now. So if you just started watching the video and skipped to this point and you're like, what the hell? This is normal. Okay, and when you get past it, haha. Now we're going to shift it upright. There's very little space to operate here. Window more out of the way. Haha. Tangled on every single wire. Haha! That was quite the endeavor I hope I never have to do again. But it's in. And now we're going to tighten up these bolts here, but not all the way, so we can still wiggle it a little bit to get the other ones in. That's why those pre-stage bolts are so important, because it helps you line everybody up. Take these two, they go down here. See, when I laid the bolts out in a nice little map pattern, you can also use the box of the new one. And when you take it out of the box, cut the lid off the cardboard and draw with a Sharpie on it a map of where all the bolts are, and then just poke holes through the cardboard with the tip of the bolt so that you can't lose them. And that's even more idiot proof, but I've done enough window regulators, I kind of know where all the bolts are supposed to go if I lay them out the same way every time. And you'll get that way too if you start getting into car culture, or if you're already an experienced tech and you're watching it because you're doing a Pontiac Grand Prix window regulator and don't know where all those hidden bolts are. Now you do. Now, this is a parts store regulator. I'm sure you can find them cheap enough on eBay. I really don't recommend the junkyard regulators when it comes to these GMs, simply because they have a lot of trouble. I mean, you don't usually see these with engine trouble unless it's coolant related or, you know, any kind of transmission issues. You really only see interior issues. Excuse me, let me just sneeze my brain out right into your headphones. You like that? Rip all the headphone users out there. All right, so that's all those. Now we need to bring the window down, which is easy because it's not attached to anything. So we'll just reach up here and just whoop. Now when we come down, you'll see these little notches here. Now there's two, there's one on each side, but you can't see this side where it flip, so we'll just show you this one. So you want to lab up these line up the tabs so you can put the bolt through. And then obviously the tabs go on the side towards you, and the long white tab with the brass insert goes on the back. You'll just put these bolts right here in there and you'll be good to go. And you want to start them both by hand, because if you cross thread this, you will shatter the window. As one of my techs found out, I feel so bad for him. He busted a window on actually it might have been he was drilling a rivet out and busted a Ford Ranger window doing that. Whatever it was, you don't want to break any windows, so you start them by hand so you can't possibly cross thread them. Now we're going to tighten them down. Now these don't have to be murder tight, you're just going to snug them. Don't sit there with a giant breaker bar and tighten them, because you'll shatter the window or you'll break. I'm so tired I cannot speak today. But we're making content for the viewers, because that's what we do. Ta-da! Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the window switch again, and we're going to confirm that it works. You know, we should probably plug in the window motor, you dingus. It's not going to work if it's not plugged in, you freaking idiot. But where is my haha? All right, now we get to put up with the world's worst door dinger again. Third time's a charm, I'm calling that fixed. All right, now we got to put everything else back together, minus that stupid plastic insert crap. And you can glue it back on. They make weather stripping seal. You can buy it at the parts store and put it back in, but to be honest with you, we don't really have the weather that is going to create any rust inside the door here, so we don't put them back. Are they necessary? Obviously not, because my 4Runners had without its for, God, 100,000 miles, and the window regulator still works, and everything is still fine. It's like the apocalypse doesn't happen when you don't put a plastic sheet back. I already hear the salty comments. It's gonna ruin everything. The door will rust out. Not in my climate. Okay, so now it's door panel time, so we're gonna grab that. Make sure you plug in, well, this just was kind of chilling out in here, so I guess we'll just leave him chilling out in there. It's not really a plastic clip or anything. And then this crap goes through the one hole of the door. Actually, this goes in here. There's the mirror. And then these are all, that's one switch, and then that's it. So now it's just door panel time. So we'll take our door panel, route all of our switches through their hole. Come on now. Make sure all the plastic clips didn't line up and break all over the place. It's really part of the charm, you know. Next, locate that Torx bit you said you wouldn't lose and definitely lost. Nope, here it is. I'm going to put this bad boy back in here. Yeah. Cool. All right. One, two, three, four, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't think you can plug these in wrong. I don't think that's a valid concern. And the phone is always ringing at this shop. You know, that's one of the most annoying things about running your own business is the phone never stops ringing. And it's usually a good thing because it's, you know, people with broken cars need their car fixed, and that's how you make a living, but I guess they didn't need their car fixed. They hung up. And then we'll put this back on. And that, kids, is how you change a window regulator. All right, we've got our window situated, so I'm gonna crank it. Oh, and you'll notice when I do start it that the knocking should have subsided significantly from our first video. That's because I've changed the oil out for the anti-knock additive that is 20W50. Now the 20W50 is not what this engine was designed for, excuse you, but it will in fact slow down a knock. Obviously when we go to sell the car, we're gonna have to disclose that it has thicker oil in it so they can continue to maintain it as they go forth. The real answer would be replace the engine. I have no intention of doing that. Quieter. Now I'm luxurious with my roll down window. That's all we got time for today on Grumpy Monkey Garage. But if you like our restoration series, we'll be finishing this out after we've washed it and fixed some of the lighting and body issues on this car. That'll be part 3, and then it'll be off to a new home. We'll see you next time on Grumpy Monkey.